Welcome to the story of the greatest slapstick trio in entertainment history, the Three Stooges. This video covers their journey from vaudeville stages to television screens. Nyok nyok nyok. This program is brought to you by the series of Thought Stooges.
Chapter 1 covers the early years of the act, from 1922 to 1934, which was the genesis of their iconic gags. The comedy act launched in 1922 under bandleader Ted Healy. The original lineup featured Ted Healy, Moe Howard, Shemp Howard, and Larry Fine, billed as Ted Healy and His Stooges. The foursome made their feature film debut in the 1930 film Soup to Nuts. In 1932, Shemp Howard departed, and his younger brother, Jerome Curly Howard, stepped in, making comedy history. The pivotal moment was the birth of the Three Stooges. In 1934, Moe, Larry, and Curly parted ways with Ted Healy. They signed with Columbia Pictures for a 24-year series of short-subject comedies, becoming an iconic act in their own right. Ted Healy's rough-and-tumble vaudeville troupe laid the groundwork for what would become one of the most beloved comedy franchises in American entertainment history. Chapter 2 covers the Golden Age of Columbia Pictures, a highly productive era for the trio from 1934 to 1946. Moe, Larry, and Curly created over 90 short comedies, perfecting signature gags like eye pokes and face slaps. Their physical comedy and split-second timing set the gold standard for slapstick. Key early shorts include Woman Haters, 1934, their first all-rhyme film, and Punch Drunks, 1934, which introduced Curly's Nyuk 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 laugh. Three Little Beers, 1935, is considered one of their most perfectly constructed shorts. The Moe, Larry, Curly era represented the apex of the Stooges' creative output. This body of work, known for its sheer anarchic joy, is unrivaled in American short film comedy. In May 1946, Curly suffered a debilitating stroke, forcing his retirement. Years of physical strain and personal struggles took a heavy toll. Curly passed away in 1952 at age 48. Chapter 3, Transitions and New Faces, covers the period from 1946 to 1958, marked by changes in the Stooges lineup. Shemp Howard returned to replace his ailing brother, Curly. This bittersweet reunion allowed the trio to continue producing short films for Columbia Pictures throughout the late 1940s and early 1950s. Shemp brought a distinct, wry, and more verbal style to the act, which fans deeply appreciated. Shorts like Hold That Lion and Fright Night stand out. His passing led to the term Fake Shemp for body doubles used to complete films. On November 22, 1955, Shemp Howard died of a sudden heart attack at 60. His loss left the Stooges searching for their footing once again. Their story is marked by both grief and laughter. Shemp Howard's tenure brought a welcome, mature energy to the act. Though his time was cut short, his contributions to the Stooges catalog are celebrated by dedicated fans as some of their most inventive work. Columbia Pictures contract player Joe Besser joined the act in 1956. Besser brought a softer, character-based comedy style over raw slapstick, starring in 16 shorts until 1958. In 1958, Columbia Pictures closed its short film division due to the rise of television. Joe Besser also departed to care for his ill wife, bringing the Stooges' 24-year Columbia chapter to an end. However, their story was far from over. Chapter 4, A New Lease on Life, covers the Stooges' unexpected comeback and revival from 1958 to 1970. Columbia's television arm, Screen Gems, syndicated the Stooges' shorts, exposing their work to millions of American children. By the early 1960s, the Stooges were must-see TV for a new generation. Rotund comic Joe DeRita became Curly Joe in 1958, completing the trio. Their booming TV popularity launched a new era of full-length feature films, starting with Have Rocket, Will Travel in 1959. Riding this wave of television-fueled nostalgia, the Stooges successfully pivoted to full-length features, proving their universal appeal could fill theaters long after their original heyday. The Stooges became cultural staples for children through daily TV syndication, touring, merchandise, and even an animated series in 1965, reaching an entirely new audience. The act began to wind down when Larry Fine suffered a severe, paralyzing stroke in the mid-1960s. Larry was the quiet, steady glue of the group, and his performing days were over. The Stooges' final film was the travel documentary-style farewell, Cook's Tour, released in 1970. It marked the quiet end of a performing career that had spanned nearly 5 remarkable decades. By 1970, the curtain had finally fallen on one of the most improbable and enduring careers in entertainment history. What began on vaudeville stages outlasted studios and networks. Chapter 5 explores the enduring legacy of the Three Stooges and why their humor continues to resonate today. The Stooges mastered a timeless brand of comedy built on visual gags, perfectly choreographed physical mayhem, and snappy, absurdist dialogue that transcends cultural barriers. Contemporary comedians and filmmakers consistently cite the Three Stooges as a foundational inspiration. Their comedic formula of a straight man plus chaos influences sketch comedy and modern sitcoms. Catchphrases like "nuke, nuke, nuke" are part of the cultural lexicon. Their shorts remain staples on streaming platforms, ensuring continuous discovery by a dedicated and active fan community. The Three Stooges' influence extends throughout the history of American screen comedy, from Looney Tunes to Jackass. Their physical, rubber-faced antics have set the DNA for future comedians like Jim Carrey. Moe Howard was the constant leader from 1922 to 1970. Larry Fine was the eternal middle stooge. Shemp Howard, an original, returned after his solo career. Curly Howard was the fan-favorite physical genius of the Golden Age. The Stooges produced 190 short films under Columbia and made over 200 total appearances in film and television. They were active for 48 years and featured 6 main members throughout their storied history. Their timeline stretches from a 1922 vaudeville debut under Ted Healy through the curly era at Columbia starting in 1934 and the post-war changes with Shemp's return. The act ended quietly in 1970. The enduring appeal of the Three Stooges is one of pure, unadulterated joy. Their simple physical comedy transcends generations, cementing them as icons of American humor nearly a century after their first appearance.